Hi friends, uh, in this video we'll try to understand using names in Excel. So it's basically a question asked by one of my friend how to define a name and use them in a cell, range, function, table, etc. So you will get the name manager in Excel toolbar under formulas group. You will find this. So you have name manager where you can define a name, use in a formula and create from the selection, etc. So how it works? Very simple. If suppose when you are creating a formula, say A1 to A10, when some data is there, wherein you are just putting a formula is equal to sum within brackets A1 to A10. Instead of A1 to A10, if you can write a name directly without selecting the data, it's very easy. And also, when you are sharing this data to a different user, he would be more comfortable looking at the names because ranges will differ and it will have different names, different numbers, but the names will help them easy and they can just follow easily and they can audit the entire sheet. So using names make your life easy to understand and maintain your formula in spreadsheets, and then you can define a name for a cell, range, function, constant or table, and you need to adopt the names with some practice so that you will be able to manage them and you can ease your spreadsheet activity in a better way. So before going to Excel, we can just try to understand the naming conventions characteristics. So the name always should start with an alphabet, and it should start with it can start with an underscore as well as a backslash, but it cannot start with anything else. So alphabet, underscore and backslash, and the remaining characters of the name can be anything apart from special characters and spaces. Underscore can be there, of course no spaces should be there, and the naming conventions, the length of the name should be not crossing beyond 255 characters. Of course our names always will be shorter, like within 10 words, so there is no problem. 10 alphabets, 10 characters, so no need to worry. Let us go to Excel. So I have created data and I have given an example already to you, sum of this entire area and then closed. So that's sum is actually coming as a formula like B2 to B8. So instead of writing B2 to B8, and I want to avoid the selection range selection pane, I can do like this. I have selected the range and then I have given the name as name underscore range. So how I created the name? The name is started with an alphabet and it doesn't contain any special character except underscore, and it doesn't contain any space. So that way, and enter. Now the formula will be different. Sum name range. So the moment I write the name of that name and the range, automatically the Excel is recognizing and it's throwing, so that I can just double click and then close the parenthesis. The value is coming. In the same way, I can give another name range where I can say name range 1, and then I can do like this, sum of. So I am not selecting here. The interesting part is that name range comma, this name range is not been selected, so I need to do it again. Sorry, I think some problem happened. Name underscore range 1, and I need to enter. I didn't enter earlier. So sum name range and double click and then comma name range 1, double click and enter. The value is coming. So I am not actually selecting the range, but I am just giving the range name, and it is helping me to do the formula in a very quick way and in a better way. So I know where that data is there. And these formulas are called static. So why static is the definition of the range is actually only is limited to those cells or those rows 2 to 8. So it's not going beyond that. So if suppose the data is increasing, like say I have added some 80 here, even then the formula is not taking that 80. It's only fixed to only till 8th row only, and ninth row anything is added that is not taking up. So for that we need to use dynamic ranges. It's very easy. Rather, what you can do is you can go to define name, and then you can say simple, like suppose I wanted to do B. You need to make it static, otherwise make it absolute, otherwise it will, when you do a formula, this will move to other columns and accordingly give a reference, wrong reference. And you give a name references static name range and say yes. So what you have selected is, you have selected entire B column, and then you said you have created a name and said yes. So now sum of static name range, I said this and enter. So now the value is 737, and if I add some value in the, if suppose the items are growing, if I add something else like another 100, the value is changing automatically. So in this way also the names are useful, and they will be helpful, and you can understand, you can use them in a very better way, and it's easy as well. Now the same thing we can rather use in VLOOKUP kind of formulas. For that, nothing, simple. You need to create a name for the table. This is a data table. Let us assume this is a data table, and we need to create a name. This is lookup table. Enter. Now suppose I have Jan and I wanted to understand for XYZ. So VLOOKUP, the name I have given is lookup table. Sorry, before that I need to say lookup value as well. Lookup value comma, and then lookup table, and then in that lookup table what is the value, what you want. Either I want XYZ, ABC, and say CDD. Accordingly, if you say 2 and then you say false, the value is arrived. For Jan in under XYZ, you have 93. So you have not selected the data. You have not selected the data, you have just given the name of the data table, and then you have given the lookup reference, and then accordingly you said either true or false, and you got the value. So this is the use of name range. Now let us come to the main question of my friend: how to use this create from selection, this option. He asked how to use this option, and it's very easy. It's nothing but, instead of giving your name, you are giving the name by default from the table itself. Suppose I created like this. I've selected the data and I go to create from selection. First let us delete all the name ranges. I can select the name manager. From the name manager I can select all the ranges and then delete. So my names are deleted. So it will otherwise confuse everybody. So I have selected this range and then create from selection. There are 4 options. One is top row, bottom row, and left column and right column. So let us understand top row and bottom row, and then accordingly you can understand the left and right columns. It's both are same. Only thing is that it's we are talking about row reference, and the other one is column reference. The top row. Top row means this range. Top row is talking about some name. So you are telling to take the name whatever is there, the heading itself. If I press enter and then if I say sum XYZ, that's all. So the define create from selection means you are not giving any your own name, and you are asking to take it by default from the available data. So now another one, bottom row. Bottom row is nothing but if the suppose that data is containing any name, as we have already discussed the naming characteristics, whether it should always start with alphabet, underscore, or backlights, etc. If that kind of character is there, that kind of name is there available in the selected range, and that is available in the bottom row, then the name is collected. For example, if I go here and I say here XXXX, and then if I select this range and I go to create from selection and say bottom row, the moment I do, it's actually the name is created from the bottom row, that is sum XXXX, double click and say yes, and the value has come. So this is where the create from selection option works. I hope you understood name option and how to define that and how to use it. And we will be discussing in few videos where we are actually talking about charts. You're making charts, and also I am actually releasing another video series where we are talking about charts and dynamic charts and interactive charts, etc., where we will be creating some dynamic naming conventions. I mean, dynamic names are name ranges where we use offset formula and etc. So that is actually coming up very shortly, so that I am going to publish. But for the time being, the name manager option in Excel's for Excel's what do you call ribbon available, it's under formula group available, is very useful. I hope you understood. Thank you very much.